I carried more people than any aircraft in history, reshaping the very fabric of our global civilization. But one day, the world simply decided I was too old. Passengers loved the unprecedented luxury of my spacious cabins, and the world's most experienced pilots deeply respected my incredible handling. It is hard to imagine now, but for decades, international airlines absolutely could not get enough of my massive double-deck design. I was so monumentally massive that modern international airports literally had to be redesigned and structurally rebuilt entirely around me. Make no mistake, I wasn't just another commercial airplane rolling off an assembly line. For half a century, I was the undisputed queen of the skies. I ruled supreme, and my reign felt entirely eternal. But as the new millennium dawned, something incredibly strange began to happen in the industry. Almost overnight, the fast-paced modern aviation world began quietly pushing me aside, favoring smaller, more sterile designs. The glory days faded rapidly. One by one, the world's premier airlines quietly announced my retirement, cutting me from their fleets. And just like that, the multi-million-dollar legends of transatlantic flight ended up gathered together right here, grounded forever. Left out in the brutal sun, decommissioned, stripped for spare parts, and completely forgotten by the traveling public. It is a tragic, unceremonious end for royalty, or at the very least, that is what the vast majority of the public actually thinks happened. Because away from the public eye, hidden in the shadows of the night, my extraordinary story has one brilliant final chapter. An incredible, highly lucrative secret. A hidden capability engineered deep within my bones that has kept me flying and highly vital. But to truly comprehend this world-changing secret, we must first go back to the legendary era where my radical dream originally began. The year is 1965. Global air travel is absolutely booming, and the airline industry is growing at an unprecedented, uncontrollable rate. The tiny, narrow commercial jets of the day simply couldn't handle the sheer volume of travelers. Pan Am and Boeing needed something radically bigger. Faced with an impossible logistical crisis, the visionary executives at Boeing came up with an absolutely insane, highly high-risk gamble. They decided to build the biggest passenger airliner the world had ever seen, a machine twice the size of any existing aircraft. Virtually everyone outside of Boeing openly mocked the concept, confidently claiming that an aluminum structure that massive could never safely lift off a runway. But the legendary engineering team, led by Joe Sutter, pushed forward anyway, risking the entire financial future of the company on a single design. And then, in late September of 1968, the massive hangar doors rolled back, and I finally made my grand entrance into the world. The world stared up in absolute, stunned disbelief. Behold, the very first wide-body jumbo jet in human history had arrived. I was unlike anything humanity had ever constructed for the skies. My presence was dominant, commanding undivided attention. Standing directly beside my landing gear felt less like standing next to a vehicle, and more like standing at the base of a skyscraper. In January of 1970, I officially entered commercial passenger service, roaring down the runway and changing global geography forever. The moment my tires left the asphalt, the golden age of flight reached its absolute zenith. The world suddenly shrunk. Because of my massive passenger capacity, the high price of international plane tickets plummeted, making global travel accessible to the everyday family. Almost overnight, global tourism exploded exponentially, linking distant continents and cultures closer together than ever before in history. Virtually every single major flag carrier airline across the face of the earth desperately scrambled to buy me for their flagship routes. I became the ultimate, definitive global symbol of romance, luxury, high-end engineering, and pure intercontinental adventure. But my profound structural influence extended far beyond just the passengers sitting comfortably inside my massive upper deck lounge. Entirely new, highly advanced terminal gates and heavy-duty concrete taxiways had to be pioneered globally just to support my immense weight. I single-handedly dictated global air traffic control patterns, standard routing procedures, and the entire logistical blueprint of modern aviation. And very early on, smart logistics operators realized that my unique, massive frame possessed another highly revolutionary talent: cargo shipping. Because of my heavy-duty structural payload capabilities, I easily carried heavy industrial machinery, critical emergency relief supplies, and massive military hardware. In one of the most magnificent engineering achievements in history, NASA structurally modified me to carry the entire space shuttle on my back. By the time the late 1990s arrived, I absolutely ruled the skies unchallenged. I was the backbone of global logistics and travel. I felt completely bulletproof. It truly felt like absolutely no machine could ever match my capability or take my crown. But hidden deep inside the advanced research and development hangars of my competitors, a massive, highly dangerous threat was quietly growing. Unprecedented advancements in turbine technology were changing the fundamental mathematics of aviation efficiency forever. Suddenly, 4 massive engines were no longer an economic necessity for long-haul flight. 2 highly efficient engines became more than enough. Next-generation twin-engine composite aircraft like the 787 and the A350 arrived, boasting jaw-dropping fuel efficiency that I simply couldn't touch. Global airlines began asking the question, do we still need the Queen? A wave of sudden, heartbreaking fleet retirement announcements swept across the globe. My passenger routes were being completely eliminated.
Farewell.
And just like that, the golden age of the 4-engine passenger jumbo jet came to an emotional, definitive end. But remember that secret chapter? While passenger airlines abandoned me, global heavy cargo operators realized they completely depended on me. Because when the world needs to ship an entire factory's worth of machinery across an ocean overnight, no twin-engine jet on Earth can match my raw volume. I may have lost my passenger crown, but I never truly disappeared. I am the lifeline of global commerce. My uncut story is far from over.